Hi, everyone. It's a lot bigger crowd out there than when you're sitting in the front row. So I hope everyone's doing well. Good evening. I think it's evening. Really happy to see so many people here. And Johanna and I, as introduced, will be speaking on behalf of the Brooklyn Center Community Orchard, which is an effort far larger than the two of us up here. There are so many people to thank, obviously Reimagining Cleveland as well as Neighborhood Connections. But I think most of all, a lot of the residents and neighbors in Brooklyn Center who really made this thing possible. We had a wonderful time doing this, and you're going to be able to see some of our slides. So you know kind of where we're at. Brooklyn Center is the oldest settlement on the west side of the Cuyahoga River. Most people know us by our southern anchor of the Metro Park Zoo, and to the north for Ohio City, Tremont area. So we're kind of sandwiched in between an island and the city. I gotta say, before we get started, I don't think I ever would have envisioned about 2 years ago standing in front of a vacant lot, looking at a car bumper and a pile of cans and bottles and high weeds, that we'd be standing here in front of a group being asked to speak about what came to be at the hands of a number of really dedicated neighbors. So we're extremely proud to be here and really appreciate the opportunity. I'll turn it to Johanna and she'll get started.
How we began was through my job. I work with Cleveland City Councilman Brian Cummins at Ward 14. And through my job, I attend a lot of block group meetings, and one on West 33rd was very active in the community and kept on complaining about this vacant lot at the end of 33rd and 34th Street on Louisiana that attracted a lot of negative attention. A lot of stolen cars were dumped in this lot. Drug dealing, even prostitution. It's right on the valley, as you can see. It's very large. It's about close to 3/4 of an acre, and since it's on the valley, it doesn't have a lot of eyes on it. And this block group was trying to come up with ideas of what to do with this lot. The best idea that we thought would be the most sustainable, because of the lack of water, and also the lack of eyes, we thought that a community garden wouldn't be as successful because it's quite a large lot. And then the idea came up that a community orchard might be the best solution. As you can see, it was left unmaintained for about 15 years. The railroad, Norfolk Southern, has tracks at the base of the hill right below this lot. And they purchased these homes 15 years ago and raised them because of hillside sustainability issues. So after demolishing the homes and buffering up the hillside, they just left the parcels, and it collected a lot of garbage and, like I said, negative attention. From there, the Reimagining Cleveland grant became available, and we also applied for a Neighborhood Connections grant. With those two, we were able to really make a successful project. We have a resident architect in our group that, being unemployed at the time, conveniently, he was able to do an incredible job on the layout. A lot of the research for how the distance between trees, and we collaborated on what the variety of trees that are best in this climate zone, also helped by OSU and their planting guide. This is again one of his plot drawings. Frontal.
These seem like dreams about 6 months ago, 8 months ago. So.
And the arbor, which is the front entry. And this is day one. Cutting down the grass, taking down the chain link fence, uncovering the sidewalk we didn't even know was there.
And such an effort really depends on the hands of many to be involved. So we had the idea. We had support specifically from the block club that had interest in this piece of property. We had the grant dollars, we had the plans on paper, everything looked beautiful, and then it's a matter of getting hands and shovels to hit the dirt. So we relied first on kind of bulk hit, guerrilla warfare on a vacant lot, which is get court community service workers, get volunteers from throughout the neighborhood, canvass the area, fly or hold a meeting on the actual space, really try and rally the troops. And I'll tell you, I've done an awful lot of projects, and this has by far been the easiest to get so many people around reclaiming a space, especially when it involves food, and especially when it's laid vacant for so long.
I'd like to thank Core Community Service. As you can see from this photo, they helped on 2 different occasions, and we're very glad to have some heavy lifting going on here, clearing the pathway. This is drilling the fence post holes for the front after removing the chain link. After the path was dug, we then had about 14 tons of gravel delivered, and with all the volunteers, then laid that down. This is laying out the trees. The distance that they're, not only the rows are apart, but then the trees individually.
And we have 42 different trees planted. They involve cherry, apple, and peach. And then we also have blackberry, blueberry, raspberry, strawberry. And we're starting to get creative. We're going to maybe start throwing some other things in there.
Within the apple trees, there's 4 different varieties of apples. This is preparing for our trees to come. Luckily, one of our neighbors is a construction worker, and he owned a bobcat and was able to bring it down and do the initial dig of the hole, and then we widened it and made it, the appropriate size.
And dealing with vacant land, too, I think one of the significant issues is what is underneath all those weeds. And so it becomes kind of a charming game. We were picking out toys and, like I said, car bumpers, pieces of vehicles that had been dumped many years before. Unfortunately, I think for the conditions we were left was a lot of backfill. So when the railroad bought those homes, tore them down, they had filled it with a clay mixture. So it had a lot of drain tiles and different concrete substances. Thankfully, the test came back really good in terms of non-pollutants. So we had a pretty good mixture in the soil. We have a very hard clay, which any planter would know sits like a basin of water, so which makes a challenge for trees. So we had to do a lot of prep and continuously expand the holes we were using for the trees so that we can ensure that they were going to root properly.
In order for them to root properly, we felt that taking the sod up in the rows where the trees are would help for root growth. And our trees arrive.
Helpers of all ages.
Yes. And this was the most incredible day, was when we actually were able to plant these trees. The amount of people that came out for this, we had a spattering of people come out and help. The core group was maybe about 10 people, but then a spattering of people would show up with sandwiches or lemonade or free bushes from their front yard for the landscaping. But this day, the planting day, was incredible, and we were able to get all 42 trees in a matter of 2 hours.
So there's just some ongoing work here, so you can kind of see some of the effort, the number of people involved.
This is our strawberry patch, which didn't do too good.
It didn't take too well. It was planted. We got the species actually kind of late in the year. It happened to coincide with the hottest week of the summer.
So I think the strawberries might have suffered, but we'll find out soon.
This is installing our picket fence, which was very American dream-like for an orchard. Our white picket fence up front. We could skip that. Continuous tilling. Another pool of volunteers that we used were from Case Western Reserve.
Delta Tau Delta fraternity have volunteer days that they have to do and offered.
And this is us kind of putting the finishing touches on an arbor, moving donated stone into place.
Lightning Demolition that does a lot of city demolitions in the city of Cleveland.
All right. I thought, are we off?
Like they really like it.
What you see here is kind of a final, just in terms of a frontal, because we do have to go and let the next speaker come on. We did install, as you can see, the final arbor and fencing, solar lamp posts. We have a park bench at the end that overlooks the Brookside Valley. We definitely welcome all of you. Maybe not all at once, but if you do want to stop by.
And just before and after, just to solidify the effect, this is what it looked like for 15 years, and then this is now.
Thank you very much.